All right, hi guys, welcome back. Today is Friday, February 27th, 11:35 p.m. Once again, I have Kinsley and Deborah on the phone with me, and as we discussed last night, we're going to be going back over what we did last night. We were doing some cases. Actually, I'll put up a graphic here of the cases that we were working on last night and how they might be connected to a man named Michael Devlin. Doing that, Kinsley and Deborah both noticed that there's a connection, or a possible connection, between Michael Devlin and some other missing children. Actually, we have so far we've located, or we've noticed seven children that actually this guy might have something to do with. They are as follows. Case number 140 was Shawn Hornbeck. Everybody knows that he was found safe. And that remote viewing, dream viewing, whatever you want to call it, turned out to be correct. The next remote viewing that was correct too was case number 272, which was Ben Ownby. We were discussing a little bit earlier before the recording. Ben, if it wasn't for Ben, Michael might still be out there. He might still be trying to take children and do whatever this freak does with them. But thank God that. Ben would, somebody noticed Ben, because if it wasn't for Ben, I think that Shawn, might have been dead, because I don't know what he does when they get too old or whatever, but it might have turned out a lot worse. But so anyways, looking at that, we discovered that case number 222, which is John David, otherwise known as Johnny Gosch. Case number 277. Charles Arlin Henderson, and he is to the he's the bottom right picture. Case number 278, Scott Leischulte. Case number 294, Bianca Noel Piper, and case number 315, Antoinette Guerrero. Now, this is the guy that we're talking about. Okay, this is Michael Devlin. He is in prison, and I think I think Deborah said that he's serving multiple life sentences. Is that correct?
Yeah, he'll never see the light of day again. He's got 3 life sentences, and then some extra years on top of that. So he's not going anywhere at this point.
Okay, wonderful. And he didn't get the death penalty, correct?
No, he did not. But actually, I think that's too good for people that do heinous things, especially to children.
Well, I think I'm bringing that up because I think that if you kill him, you're never going to know what he did. And from what we did in some of the cases, guys, there's some stuff that seems really similar to all these cases. Now, if you look at the pictures right now, look at their pictures. They all kind of look the same, and they were all kind of about the same age when they went missing. There is a resemblance, and there's a lot of other things that we're gonna try to discuss tonight within 45 minutes. But to get things started, Deborah's going to give us a little history on this man right here, and this is Michael Devlin.
Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of history on him, and I'm only doing this to make sure I don't get fired live again. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Michael John Devlin is that disgusting pig's full name. And I have a lot of other things I'd like to call him. Pedophile, you call him a freak, scumbag. I can't say most of the words I'd like to use. And I'm a lady, so I don't like to do that in the first place. He's actually 43 years old. Right now he's convicted of kidnapping, child molestation, and production of child pornography. He's busy serving his 3 life sentences right now, and they have him listed as a manager and a funeral home worker. He was a manager at a pizza parlor for Imo's Pizza, and he worked at Bop Chapel, and that's in Kirkwood, Missouri, and that is where he resided when he was arrested. He was an adopted child. He had 3 brothers who were also adopted and 2 sisters. He grew up actually in Webster Groves, Missouri, and all of his siblings and his parents do live in Missouri. The date of his arrest, and the day that Shawn Hornbeck and Ben Ownby went home to their families safe was January 12th, 2007. He was charged with abducting Ben 4 days prior, and then they also discovered that the young man they had with him was Shawn Hornbeck, who had been missing since October 6, 2002. He was 11 when he was taken, and he was 15 years old when he was found safely. No one had heard from him in that entire time until they found him. And that's a long time for someone to be missing, over 4 years for a child, and to be found safely like that. Normally, you know, you start thinking that something really bad happened to them, that they're no longer with us or something like that, unless it's something like a parental abduction, you know, custody dispute of some kind. So that's pretty much what I've got here. He was charged with 1 count of kidnapping, and he was also charged with armed criminal action. He pled not guilty to begin with on the kidnapping charges. Prosecutors said that he'd already confessed, though. They held him on a $1 million cash bail, and in one county, in Franklin County, Missouri, and they also had a $3 million bond for him in Washington County, in Missouri. So they made sure that he wasn't going anywhere. They added 71 new felony charges to this piece of work on February 5th of 2007. First 18 counts, 1 count of kidnapping, and 17 counts of forcible sodomy, pertaining to the 2007 abduction, and that would be the abduction of Ben Ownby, because that's who he was, you know, he took in 2007. The remaining 53 charges are kidnapping, forcible sodomy, and they're related to the abduction of Shawn Hornbeck. Each of these individual counts is a felony and carries a possibility of life in prison for each of them, and there were 71 of those counts. He also ended up charged on March 1st with 4 counts of producing child pornography and 2 counts of transporting a minor across state lines to engage in sexual activity in Arizona and Illinois both. So he's busy moving around in other states too. So when we look to see other cases that could be related, you know, we were looking at Missouri, we were looking in Illinois. I think we may have to expand, since Arizona's in play here, was, you know, convicted of transporting minors across state lines in Arizona too.
Yep.
So this is pretty scary, actually, but bottom line is, this piece of scum is rotting in jail right now. He has no reason to tell anybody anything at this point, unless somebody can dangle some special privileges in front of him to make him talk.
There's too many charges. There's no way, and he knows it. And one thing, when a pedophile's in prison, okay, most prisoners aren't pedophiles, and they do not deal with pedophiles. They're like the worst scum in the prison, and they usually put them in protective custody, PC or whatever they call it. And I am sure that this guy doesn't want to admit anything else. He's probably not too happy right now, and probably a lot of things that he's done probably has done to him. An eye for an eye, I guess. And I don't know. Okay, what we're going to do, guys, is we found some cases, and we're going to tell you why we think the way we do. Shawn Hornbeck, Kinsley, how old was Shawn when he was taken? Do we know?
Yeah, I can tell you.
Okay. I'm going to basically ask you guys the names of the dates of all.
11 years old.
Okay, he was 11. Okay, now, Ben Ownby. How old was Ben Ownby when he was taken? I know he was 13.
And that I did add all that to the map, by the way.
Yep, and we're going to bring that up in 1 second. So he was 11. What I'm saying, we're going to show you guys that he wants a specific age, and once that person gets to a certain age, he gets rid of.
Well, what happened to Shawn?
Right. I think that either
Right.
Shawn would have been
And
dead,
Shawn-
or he was sold to some pedophile network or something like that. Because there's we go back to human trafficking as we discussed. Maybe he didn't kill all the victims. Maybe he did something else. Maybe he had some type of connections, and we're going to try to look at that too. So Ben Ownby was 13 when he went missing. And then how old would Shawn be when because Shawn was in the car with Stephen, or
He
with,
was
I mean with
15,
Michael.
trying to find another little boy.
Exactly. Okay. So
The role had switched.
okay. So let's bring up Kinsley's map now. Okay, Kinsley, what number is Shawn on there?
Shawn is number 2.
Number 2. Can you guys? I don't know if you can see number 2, but I see it. Okay, and then Ben would be what number's Ben?
Ben is number 3.
Okay.
And these aren't in any particular order for any other reason other than I'm just grabbing them and putting them on.
Okay. In each one of these case files, we've put Kinsley's interactive map. She's actually taken the time to go to each one of these little locations. You can actually click on them, and the additional information's on there along with ages and everything other than that. But we found some type of pattern, and not only a pattern on what she found doing some research, but a pattern in my dream drawings. So let me take down the map right now and go to the next case. The next case we wanted to talk about then would be case number 222, which is John David, otherwise known as Johnny Gosch. Okay, now how old was John when he went missing?
12.
Okay, and where did he go missing from?
Devlin, Iowa.
Okay, and on that map, where would that put him?
Is number 7.
Let me get the map back up again. You know, I should have printed your map out because I'm actually have to look at the graphic. Let me do that. If you guys bear with me, I'm going to print that map out. Deborah, do you want to bring up any? Do you want to start talking about case number 222 at all, or anything you want to get off your chest or anything? I've got to print this out real quick.
Big case. I'll talk about Johnny.
Okay, go ahead. I'm just going to print this map.
Okay.
Go ahead.
While you print, go ahead, Brian. Okay. Johnny's missing since September 5th, 1982 from West Des Moines, Iowa. Date of birth, November 12th, 1969. So we're looking at this point, say he's 29 years old. No, 39 years old, is he? Yes, 39 years old. He was 12 when he was missing. He's been missing a long time. This actually puts it back to 1982 versus 1988. So we're looking at a 25-year span if this case is related. I am very glad that this guy has not been able to take any more kids since January of 2007. But he really should talk. Maybe somebody can give him a little extra commissary or something like that. I don't know.
I don't think so, Deborah. What I'm saying is that people talk in prison because they want privileges and stuff. But I don't think that this guy they can give him anything. There's just too much stuff. You know, I mean, he's done the lowest of the low. Okay, and I understand that. But
still, they should have to throw him some snacks or an extra phone call or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's enough for him because he's sick and twisted.
You know, maybe waterboarding might help. You know.
Hey, that's a good option. Right up there with castration.
That should be first. There's no doubt. When I read a pedophile, they don't change. You can't. It's a mental illness, and there's no cure for it. So castration would not be out of the question to me. Go on. I've got the map up. I'm just going to print it.
Okay, well, for anybody that hasn't taken a look at Johnny Gosch's case, John David Gosch, known as Johnny Gosch, there were photos brought to his mother, left on her porch, bound and gagged boys. There's a video tour of pedophile heaven in Nebraska. This is a really disturbing case. He did, however, visit his mother in 1997, and he had gotten away from his captors, from the life he was living, which wasn't his choice to begin with, and he said he wouldn't be coming back to see her again. So, Johnny Gosch, 39 years old, missing since September 5th, 1982 from West Des Moines, Iowa. Date of birth, November 12th, 1969. Okay, well, for anybody that hasn't taken a look at Johnny Gosch's case, John David Gosch, known as Johnny Gosch, there were photos brought to his mother, left on her porch, bound and gagged boys. There's a video tour of pedophile heaven in Nebraska. This is a really disturbing case. He did, however, visit his mother in 1997, and he had gotten away from the life he was living, which wasn't his choice to begin with. You know, he's trying to protect her, and he's keeping a low profile. He didn't want any repercussions. But, you know, any of these cases are, you know, Johnny's in particular, because there's a lot of information out there on him. Just be careful what you're watching. If things really bother you, you know, if it bothers you, don't watch it. Don't read it. But this is something that everyone should be educated on. You know, and they think in a lot of cases, people think it happens more to women than men, or to girls than boys. Yeah, it probably does happen more to girls than women. But it happens to boys too. And everyone needs to be educated. Educate your children when they're young. You can see how young these kids are. So let them know what can happen. Make sure you talk about it more. Use words of human trafficking and other things, because that's what it is. It's reality, and they need to know. So that's been my public service announcement for the evening.
Thank you, Deborah. Looking over these cases, there's one other case that might be connected now. Case 178. I don't think we have that one either. But we don't have the graphic posted. I mean, I have the case up. Yeah. Every one of these cases we're discussing, guys, I have done work on, and there's links. What we've done is we linked them all together. I printed the map right now. Yeah, I printed the map right here. As you'll see, it actually kind of forms a circle. And I think Kinsley will talk about that in a second. But Kinsley's map, along with, there's a lot of information she posted here. We're gonna put this PDF up on every one of these case files. You guys can download this stuff, and you can add to it. It's in Microsoft Live Maps, and I think that, can people log on and actually work together on this, Kinsley? Or
I'm not sure. I know that they can use the link and go and open it up, and then they can probably add their own and then send it back to us probably.
Okay. So anyways, Johnny Gosch, see, the case was opened, the request was on December 2nd, 2006. The case was opened on December 4th of 2006. The information is up there. I'm not going to go into each case in detail right now, but they're all posted. Please look at them. There's a lot of information that is actually very similar to a lot of other things, and it also involves human trafficking. In this thing I was reading, this case may be related to case number, what did I say, 178?
Yeah, I just looked at that.
Okay, 178 is Jacob Weatherting. Didn't we do that case already?
Yes, we did, Jacob Butterling, and we talked about the tie-in to Johnny Gosch with him. We just hadn't tied all the other ones in yet.
So there's one more, guys.
I mean, this is not going to take a while, right?
Now we got 8 people. Let's add him on there. I'm gonna link him too to the rest of the cases, I guess. This is some really important stuff, I think, and I think we're going somewhere with it. Okay, I've got him. I got his picture up there, and I'm going to link that case too. We're not going to have time to discuss that case. We're going to go over these real quick. So, anyways, Johnny Gosch, the case was open. It's up there. We've talked about it. And the next case we think is related. I think is case number 278. 278 would be Scott Clay Schulte, right?
Yes.
Scott Clay Schulte. Let me get this. He's right there. Okay, in this picture, it says white male, age 34, 6 foot. He took Scott. There's a location here of a 4-story apartment building in St. Louis. Okay, where was Shawn found?
In St. Louis County, in what's the name of that town?
Kirk something?
Yeah, Kirkwood.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Okay, now we did that. Now the age. It says on here age 34.
He was 9. Yeah, he was 9 when he was taken. He'd be 34 years old now.
Okay. Okay, now it says white male, age 34. I think we looked on this one too. Would that put this gentleman that's actually drawn on case number 278? The link's up in the chat room, guys. Did that put him about the same age as Michael? I think we talked about that.
I didn't put up the date that he went missing on it.
Okay.
He went missing on June 8th, 1988.
Okay. So I've got Shawn was 11, Ben was 13, Johnny's 12. This is when they went missing. Scott is how old? Scott? Yeah.
Scott was 9 when he went missing.
Okay, 9. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. In this screen drawing, it says, I'm just wondering if this person that I'm describing in case number 278 is Michael Devlin. And there's a good possibility it could be. But we don't know where Michael's been prior to that St. Louis apartment, do we?
No, we don't. We suspect that he was possibly doing this back in 82 then, if Johnny Gosch is connected?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Which would have made him like 16 years old when he started doing it, which is really sickening. But if you notice, when they found Shawn, he's 15 years old, and he's out with Michael Devlin looking for a little boy. When they get a little older, what happens to them? They get sold off, but actually, if you kind of look at it, they change their role.
Yeah, I mean, well, I believe that Ben was found in the same apartment with Shawn, right?
Yes.
And Shawn actually helped. Well, I wouldn't say help, but was in the vehicle with Michael when they were out scouting for a new victim, or he was out scouting for a new victim. Okay. So Scott was 9. The next case is Bianca Noelle Piper. How old was she? This is case number 290. She was 13. Okay, and I'm looking at that case real quick. And this one does not seem to point toward, as far as the dream goes, toward it being Michael Devlin. But I could be wrong. This might be something else that's maybe involved with the case. This mentions Las Vegas. So I'm not really sure about. Okay.
Now we did Deborah did just say that he went, as far as we know, at least to Arizona. So wouldn't we have the stretch of the imagination to think that maybe he went that far off?
Let me get that map back up again. And once again, I'm going to scan these. I'm going to scan
Iowa and Nebraska too, out that direction, further north and to the west.
Yeah.
So
and like you said, he went to Iowa.
We don't have the resources then to really do what we want to do. We need to find out where this guy was since 1986, right? Or even before that. We need to know this guy's history, where he moved to, wherever, and see if it's in location to any of these people. Right? I mean,
that would certainly help, because then we could take that and plug that in with the other ones that went missing in that 25-year span, and see if there's more related, in addition to the handful of the cases that you have open, in relation to how many people are actually missing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you said Bianca was 13. Is that correct? Or is that?
Correct.
Okay. And she went missing from where?
She went missing from Foley, Missouri, March 10th of 2005.
Okay. So that would make her...
If this is related, it bothers me because of her medical conditions.
Mm-hmm.
With having ADHD, severe bipolar, mood swings, aggressive tendencies, anxiety attacks, difficulty with self-control. Without her medications, or even if she has them, disorientation, hallucination, being out of control are all possibilities. That's not something that a captor is going to appreciate very much. She might be a liability to him.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean. It still seems he picks them at a certain age. They get to a certain age, and then he gets rid of them. I'm not exactly sure how he's getting rid of them, but maybe some of these details are in these old cases that we have. So the next case is number 315, which is Antoinette. Am I pronouncing that right? Antoinette?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, pronounce her last name now.
Quero, right? Is that good? Quero? Okay.
Very good.
Thank you. I'm trying to get better at it. Once again, this is Las Vegas. Looking at here, there's the map here. How old was she when she went missing?
9.
Okay, she was 9. Scott was 9, and she went missing what date?
April 6th, 1986.
Okay, that would. Yeah, we just got to start mapping and plotting, I guess, and then we definitely need some type of database or spreadsheet. We can work all this stuff out on. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and then the last case I was just mentioning was case 178, which is Jacob Wetherington. I actually have a picture of him too, I think. Do I have a picture of him, Deborah?
I'm not sure if you do or not. You might have had your software at that point.
I don't. But anyway, I'm going to bring this case up. I'm just looking here real quick. Now this says Jacob was taken by a man named John, and there's actually a lot of details to this case.
Well, the middle name matches to John. It's Michael John Devlin.
Okay. It also says ages 8 to 11, which is pretty close to the numbers we're getting here. I'm just looking at some of the dream drawings that are on here. There's work here. Okay, and then they're also bringing up, you follow the case file, on 178, they talk about Johnny Gosch, case 222, how they might be related. And then there's a picture up here that brings it back to case 178. So this is getting confusing in a way, but I think we're starting to make some type of sense out of it. You think?
I think so, but it's just broke as we do that.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like.
Talking about Jacob.
Yeah.
I just noticed on your dream that you said that nor did he know any of the other 10 other kids he took.
Okay, yeah, let's definitely do something on this one. Guys, this is a lot of research, you know, and this is really really time consuming. But we will work on it. If you guys want, please go to the forums, missing person forum. If you have any help or if you have any advice or anything to give us, or if you have information as far as maybe where this Michael might have been since 1986, we really need it. We need somebody that can do a spreadsheet. I think, or Kinsley, you can do a spreadsheet or something. But we're gonna need more than just us. We're gonna need some help.
Well, another thing, Brian, is I did make that new section you asked for called related cases.
Okay.
I have to plug these cases in, and I'm glad I waited because we have a whole bunch more of them. I'll get them plugged in.
Okay.
So you'll be able to find the section called related cases.
Okay.
And find all of them there so they don't have to remember the numbers and the names and look at them individually.
Okay, this is Kinsley's interactive map. This is a copy of it. I have a link to it, and then I'm actually going to be scanning and copying the information that she put for each one of the numbers. Okay, and as we just talked about doing the show, we just found another person, and I'm beginning to think the more cases we do, the more the more I think the chances of us finding somebody else might be pretty great. But so far, we had one more. If we had Jacob, that would make 8 cases that we think are related. We know for a fact that 2 of them are. But even if just one of these children is related, it's worth our time and effort to do all this. And I don't think we can do it alone. We're going to definitely need some help on this one, guys, from whoever. You may not like psychics or whatever, or however I get my information, be it dreams or whatever. I mean, I really don't care. We need your help. Because there is some stuff up here that we're seeing right now that it's got to be related. It's in some way or another. Let me show you again the cases that we think are connected. This one for sure. This is Shawn. Shawn was missing for 4 years until they went out looking for Ben. And then this guy was arrested. Here's another picture of him. He's serving 3 life sentences, right, Deborah?
Correct.
60 years.
60. Okay. Good. The cases that we think might be related that are still open. This would be John David, Johnny Gosch. Charles. We covered him already?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Scott.
Yes, we've covered him too. We've actually covered all of them.
Yeah, I'm just showing them real quick. Bianca. And Antoinette. Look at the similarities just in the features, though. And I mean, I know the ages are. I mean, there's a pattern here. There's definitely a pattern. And there's Jacob, and I bet you we're going to find some more. So that said, please go to the forums, missingpersonforum.com, and there will be a case open on this. Each individual case is already listed, but we will have a section on this, and we'll be adding cases that we think are maybe similar, and that's that. I said if it wasn't for this guy right here, this guy could, Shawn or Michael could still be out there. Thank God he's behind bars. All right, go ahead.
I had found, I believe, some similarities between Johnny Gosch, Scott's case, Antoinette, and Jacob Wetterling. Now, if you look at either the profile that you had drawn of the perp, or on Johnny Gosch's case, even the one that's at johnnygosch.com, they all look similar to me. They all have similar features.
Okay.
Now, the only difference I noticed was on Charles Henderson and Bianca's. Their perps looked similar to me as well, but different from the others.
Okay.
Now,
I'm looking at
it does
Charles.
say in Johnny Gosch's that he changed his look, though.
Okay. Well, let's look at this. Here's what we know. Look at Shawn, right? And then Ben.
Yep.
You see, he looks like a younger Shawn. Okay, and we know that's for a fact. We know that those two are related. Let's look at Bianca and Antoinette. It's kind of like age progression in a way. That's what I'm looking at, and they're different people. Okay, then Charles and Scott. You see a similarity there? I know there's a delay, but it's like he's picking a younger version of the last kid he's got. If that's the case, you know what I'm talking about? That's what it seems like to me. I don't know, but there's an awful lot of work we got to do now.
The sad thing is, Brian, when Kinsley and I looked at case files of other children that are missing in the same time span from the general area, there was more that had the same look, that looked similar, that just by looking at their photo looked like they could be related.
Okay, so
That's how we were looking at it.
if this guy, I got a picture of him again before I get sick looking at him. If there are more cases connected to him, he knows what he's doing. Apparently, he's gotten very good at it. That's why these kids have not been found. You know what I'm saying? He's got a routine down. Why did he get caught? I'm just wondering what was different that got him caught.
I wish we knew it might work with someone else.
Right, there's a lot of clues. I think this guy left behind patterns. There's records. I mean, looking at look at these maps. There's something to this too. And like I said, there might be a lot more cases out there too. But it does seem to me that he keeps his kids. At least he kept Shawn for 4 years. I mean, and it all seemed about the same age, and he gets rid of them. And I wonder if Shawn knew that he was looking for his replacement, because I guarantee that's what he was doing.
Now, am I wrong, or did I not hear? Didn't we read something where he was also charged with attempted murder of Shawn?
Yes. In the research that I was referencing earlier, it did not list that. But when we were looking into it, we found that in another location. So
I thought
I'm
so.
not, yeah. And I don't know much about that, Brian. Do you know anything about him attempting to murder Shawn?
I don't know. I mean, if I did, I forgot. I don't know. Actually, I don't know much about it, most of these cases, but I will try to look into it though. But again, guys, we need your help. We need your help in the forums. The forums are the best way to get this stuff. So, missing person forum. Please sign up. Please register. Anything that you have, local news stories. If you're in the area, let us know. Please post it. Law enforcement. If you need help, well, you're not going to ask for it anyways. But it's there. It'll be in the case. I mean, if anything that we say, anything that we have that you need, you're welcome to it. Everything's public and it's in the forums and it's on each case. And I will post these your map, Kinsley, the interactive link, and all that stuff will be in each case file that we deem that we might be related, along with the picture. And right now, we have 8 children that may be connected. Children. Guy doesn't seem like adults, does he?
And we found that it was 9 to 13-year-olds at this point that he's abducting.
And I know some type of profile or something could come up with some type of pattern or something, and maybe help find these children wherever they may be. If they're alive, some of these they're not children now; they're young adults.
Well, the thing is that law enforcement did try to tie some cases together. Some of these that we were talking about, they tried to tie Scott Clay Schulte, Bianca Noel Piper, and Charles Arlin Leon Henderson together to Michael Devlin, and they were unable to come up with physical evidence to do that.
So Bianca and who?
That would be Scott Clay Schulte, Bianca Noel Piper, and Charles Arlin Henderson.
Okay, so these three are here. So watch this, guys. I'm going to show you something. There is a similarity. I mean, he's looking for a certain look.
That's exactly
and I think when they get too old,
it happened a couple nights ago.
Let's throw Antoinette in there.
It's actually quite creepy when you look at the circle on the map. When you look at the fact that there is probably a lot more missing kids that could have been involved in this that you don't have cases open on, and just the whole thing, the way they have a certain look, it's really disturbing. I mean, the guy he's sick and twisted. He is just the lowest form of a pig.
But it seems pretty obvious he's not going to give up whatever he knows. Maybe on his deathbed, he might say something. But this guy left behind patterns. He liked children. He liked the look of certain children, and I guarantee that Ben and Shawn weren't the only ones. I guarantee it.
Well, they couldn't have been, because he had Shawn for over 4 years before taking Ben. People that are sick like that, I don't think that they wait more than 4 years in between. Do you think so? I don't. Because it's a sickness, a disease they've found with these people, and they can't reform them.
Okay, well, thank you guys. We're going to end the show now. Thank you, Kinsley. Thank you, Deborah. And thank to all you guys for listening. And once again, please go on the forums and post whatever you got. This is Aji. He's still missing. Tomorrow, right? 9 o'clock?
Yep, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fox, America's Most Wanted.
Okay. And you can go to findaji.com. If you haven't joined the forums, you haven't signed up yet. We really want to get his picture out there, and at this point, we think that's what's our number one goal is to getting his picture out there. We have two medium res pictures. We do have links to printable pictures. You can actually print a flyer, put it up somewhere, take it to Walmart, put it anywhere you want. Put it in. I don't care where you put it. Put it on car windows or whatever. His statistics are up there and what to be looking for, because he's still missing, and he's still not in the news. at least the way he should be. All right, thank you guys for listening and watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Bye-bye.